यन्मायावशवर्ति विश्वमखिलं ब्रह्मादिदेवासुरा यत्सत्त्वादमृषैव भाति सकलं रज्जौ यथा हेर्भ्रमः यत्पादप्लवमेकमेव हि भवाम्बोधे स्थितिर्षावताम् वन्देऽहं तमशेषकारणपरं रामाख्यमीशं हरिम्। श्रीराम जय जय राम ॐ 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 जय राम जय राम। Please mute yourselves if you are not muted. Okay. Let us chant Mangalacharanam AranyaKand. मूलं धर्मतरोर्विवेकजलधेः मूलं धर्मतरोर्विवेकजलधेः पूर्णेन्दुमानन्ददम् वैराग्याम्बुजभास्करं ह्यगगन वैराग्याम्बुजभास्करं ह्यगगन ध्वान्तापहं तापहं मोहाम्भोधरपूगपाटनविधौ स्वसंभवं शङ्करम् वन्दे ब्रह्मकुलं कलङ्कशमनं श्रीरामभूपप्रियम् सान्द्रानन्दपयोदसौ भगतनुं पीताम्बरं सुन्दरं पाणौ बाणशरासनं कटिलसत् तूणीरभारं वरं राजीवायतलोचनं धृतजटा जूटेन संशोभितम् सीतालक्ष्मणसंयुतं पथिगतं रामाभिरामं भजे We had started with AranyaKand, Mangalacharanam verses. The main idea is, if we understand every word, that way when we chant it, the bhavana that Goswamiji wants to communicate, that should get invoked in our heart. That is the whole purpose of Mangalacharanam. Otherwise, we can just chant it without the meaning also. But if we are paying attention to the meaning, then when we chant every word, 8 forms of Lord Shiva should come in front. What was that first verse? Ashtamurti of Bhagavan Shiva. Different 8 forms. Goswamiji is saying, did you see it? He says, no, not yet. He says, pay attention. When you chant, every word, it should indicate what Goswamiji wants to indicate. Second is the Saguna Rupa of Bhagavan Rama. Important prasangas were pointed out. Then we saw the story of Jayanta. The background of Jayanta is something we should pay attention to. He is the son of Indra Bhagwan. And he has seen the greatness of Dasharatha Maharaj. Because Dasharatha Maharaj was Indra Bhagwan's best friend. Whenever Dasharatha Maharaj would go, Indra Bhagwan would get up to welcome him. And half of his throne was given to Dasharatha Maharaj. So he says, my father is friends with Dasharatha Maharaj. So how should the sons be treated? He says, I am equal to Bhagavan Rama. My father is friend of Dasharatha Maharaj. Dasharatha Maharaj's son is Bhagavan Rama. He is just like me. And he sees, son of a king is always apple of the eyes. So in Devaloka, Jayanta was very popular right from childhood. All attention was on him. And suddenly he notices from the time Bhagavan has taken avatar, all devatas, their attention is on Bhagavan. Even Bhagavan's hut in Chitrakoot was built by devatas. And he says, who is this person who is getting so much attention? So Jayanta represents that quality of a sadhaka of envy. He is not a bad person, because he sits in the court of devatas. He is not an asura. But he says, who is this Rama who is getting more attention than me? These are all the mananam of great Mahatmas. This is Ramkinkarji Maharaj. He has presented Jayanta's story in this way. He says, just don't read the story, appreciate what quality Jayanta is portraying. And he says, he comes down to test Bhagavan Rama, but he tests him at a point when Bhagavan was doing that Shringara Leela. Bhagavan with his own hands got flowers, made nice ornaments, and he was decorating Sita Ji. See, if somebody has a doubt and they see something which is totally confirming that doubt, more chances of getting deluded. He says, so many devatas are worshipping, but it looks like he is an ordinary person. Just like any other person, he is also doing bhoga. And he says, devatas call him Sarvagya, all-knowing. If I take the form of a crow and attack Sita Ji, he will think it's an ordinary animal which has attacked, and he will not do anything. So crow form he takes to disprove Bhagavan's Sarvajnata, all-knowing nature, thinking that Bhagavan will not recognize. The biggest mistake that he committed was he attacked without any reason. All asuras, whenever they attack, they have some reason. Even asuras, they want some power, position, kingdom. But Jayanta's attack is no reason. And that too at a time when Bhagavan had just done this Shrungara Leela with Sita Ji. At that point he attacks. This is where we had left off. Chala Rudhira Raghunayaka Jana Sika Dhanusha Sayaka Sandhana. Above first Doha, when Bhagavan touches the stream of blood from Jayanta. He gets up and he takes a blade of grass, and in that he invokes Brahma Astra. The point here is, Bhagwan doesn't need material things to fulfill his pratigna. Means his bow and arrow must be nearby only. He could have taken that bow and arrow and shot. But he sends this blade of grass after him just to show that my srishti is possible only through sankalpa. Blade of grass he took just for formality's sake. He could invoke Brahmastra even without blade of grass. And that blade of grass is going to chase Jayanta across different lokas. After first Doha. प्रेरित मंत्र ब्रह्म सरधावा चला भाजी बायस भय पावा धरि निज रूप गयौ पितु पाहि राम विमुख राखाते ही नाही भानिरास उपजी मन त्रास जथा चक्र भय ऋषि दुर्वास ब्रह्म धाम शिवपुर सबलो फिराश्रमित व्याकुल भय शोका काहू बैठन कहा न ओहि राखी को सकई राम कर द्रोही मातु मृत्यु पितु समन समाना सुधा होई विष सुनो हरि जाना मित्र करई सतरिपु के करनी ताकह विबुध नदी बैतरनी सब जुगताहि अनलहुते ताता जो रघुबीर विमुख सुनु भ्राता नारद देखा बिकल जयंता लागी दया कोमल चित संता पठवा तुरत राम पहिताहि कहे सि पुकारि प्रणत हित पाहि आतुर सभय गहि सि पद जाय त्राहि त्राहि दयाल रघुराई अतुलित बल अतुलित प्रभुताई मैं मति मंद जानि नहीं पाई निज कृत कर्म जनित फल पायौ अब प्रभु पाहि शरण तकियाय सुनि कृपाल अति आरत बानी एक नयन करित जा भवानी कीन्ह मोह बस द्रोह यद्यपि तेहि कर बध उचित प्रभु छाड़ियो करि छोह को कृपाल रघुबीर सम सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय प्रेरित मंत्र ब्रह्म सरधावा Jayanta started running because that blade of grass which was invoked with Brahmastra that started chasing him. Chala bhaji bhayasa bhaya pava. He was in a crow form, first started running as a crow. One thing Bhagwan doesn't like is kapata, deceit. If anybody comes in front of Bhagwan in kapata vesha, Bhagwan says, I don't accept. That's why even when Hanumanji meets Bhagwan first, he might be in Brahmana Vesha. He says, unless you come in your true form, you will not get embrace of the Lord. Monkey form is better than Brahmana form. So Jayanta thinks, I am in a crow form, Bhagwan will not recognize. Bhagwan says, this is exactly what I don't like. When he reaches Indra Loka, the world of heaven, he feels if I grow in front of my father, with my crow form, he will not recognize me. So in between, he drops his crow body and becomes Jayanta again. Dhari nija rupa gayau pitu pahi. Thinking that father seeing my original form will shower love. Ram bhimukha rakhatehi nahi. Understanding that he has gone against the Lord, Indra Bhagwan also didn't give him shelter. Bha nirasa upaji manatrasa. Got very disappointed and very agitated. Jata chakra bhaya rishi durvasa. There was some fear also now, just like Durvasa rishi had fear because of the Sudarshan chakra that was chasing him. Sometimes if father gets angry, there is a chance that grandfather will save. Because grandfather's eyes, the children are the best. They can make no mistake. Son might make a mistake, but not grandchild. So if Indra is his father, who is his grandfather? Brahmaji. He goes to Brahmaji. Brahma dhama sivapura sabaloka. Goes to Brahmaji. Brahmaji also doesn't give him shelter. Goes to Bhagwan Shiva, hoping that he will do something. Nobody does anything. Phira shramita vyakula bhaya soka. Now he is tired and very anxious and fearful. What is going to happen next? Kahu baithana kahana ohi. Until now he was the son of Indra Bhagwan. Everybody gave him so much respect. Now nobody even asked him to sit. Complete cold shoulder wherever he went. Raki ko sakai Ramacharitmanas. Can anybody keep Bhagwan's drohi with them? What happens to such a person? This is the mind of that sadhaka. Matu mrityu. Mother becomes like death. Pitu samana. Father becomes like Yamaraja. And Sudha hoi bisha sunu harijana. Nectar becomes like poison. O Garuda, listen to this. Now who is telling this story to whom? Yajnavalkya ji is telling this. Our Kakabhushundi ji is telling this story to Garud Bhagwan. So in Ramacharitmanas, different Shrota Vaktas are there. So this one is Kakabhushundi ji. Mitra Kari Sata Ripuke Karani. One who goes against Bhagwan, one who is turned away from the Lord, all his friends become like hundreds of enemies. Means they behave like that, as though everybody has become their enemy. Takaha Bibuda Nadi Baitarani. And Gangaji, which is supposed to remove all sins, Gangaji becomes like Vaitarani Nadi. Vaitarani Nadi is a river in Naraka. So Gangaji becomes like that. Sabajugatahi analahute tata. The whole world burns him like fire. Jo Raghubira Bhimukha Sunu Bhrata. One who has gone against Bhagwan. Now another way to understand this is, look at the opposite. One who has gone at the shelter of Bhagwan, even if he has 100 so-called enemies, all of them become friends. Even if he is faced with a very treacherous river like Vaitarani Nadi, that becomes like Gangaji. And samsara might be scorching like fire, that samsara doesn't touch him. Both ways we have to appreciate. The one who is turned away from the Lord, what happens? One who is turned towards the Lord, what happens? Now the question might come, if somebody has come to surrender, why is it that Brahmaji, Indra Bhagwan, even Bhagwan Shiva, they didn't give shelter to Jayanta? If they had given shelter, then his running around would have stopped there only. Means his Sharanagati would have been in Indra Bhagwan. And all of them say, your true Sharanagati should be to Bhagwan Rama. Means Ishvara is a higher, supreme-most altar. Only when we go there, all this running around will stop. True samsara nivrutti happens only through Sharanagati to Ishvara. Sometimes what happens is, whenever we have problem, somebody immediate solves it for us. So then this person, Shraddha, Sharanagati, everything happens in that jiva. So sometimes when Bhagwan doesn't solve it, that is one way of Bhagwan calling towards him. That is this Sharanagati Siddhanta. Puja Guruji had explained this once. He said, many people ask in Gajendra Stuti, why did Gajendra not pray to the crocodile? Because crocodile was holding his feet. He could have prayed to that crocodile to let go of it. Guruji said, even if it had let go of it, where would his Sharanagati be? In some another jiva only. If he had prayed to some other person, nearby person, do something to this crocodile, or to some other elephant. In all cases, his Shraddha, Sharanagati would have been in some jiva. Whereas Bhagwan says, Sharanagati should be in Ishvara alone. That is why nobody gave him shelter. They said, you go to Bhagavan. Now if there is a person who is in difficulty and nobody is ready to help, still there is one person who will offer help unasked. Important word is unasked. And that is a Santa Mahatma. Narada Dekha Bikala Jayanta. Jayanta was running from one place to another with so much of fear. Nobody giving him shelter. Lagi Daya Komala Chita Santa. This line is very popular. Narada Dekha Bikala Jayanta. Lagi Daya Komala Chita Santa. Whenever you hear Santa Charitra, this line is quoted. What is the uniqueness of a saint? They feel compassion towards others even when that person has not asked anything. That is where the word daya comes. If somebody asks us for help and we give help, that is one kind of bhavana, one feeling. But we see somebody in difficulty even without that person asking. The one who helps, that person is called a Santa. Why did he do this? Komala Chitra. Means his mind has become so pure that his sensitivity towards others' sorrow is very high. That is one indicator of a saint who feels others' sorrow as his own. Patava Turata Rama Pahitahi. And Naradji is very famous for this. Whoever is in difficulty, he goes and solves their problem for good. Starting from Valmiki Rishi all the way until Parikshit Ji Maharaj, Bhagavan Vedvyas Ji. Each sadhaka you will notice, they were in difficulty. Naradji was the one who went and gave them guidance and the path forward. Patava Turata Rama Pahitahi. He says, quickly you have to go to Bhagwan Rama. Don't waste your time going here and there. Kahin si pukari pranata hita pahi. And he even tells him clear guidance, what you should do. First you go and express your helplessness loudly. Kahe si pukari means don't just be quiet. Go there and sit in front of the Lord. Express your fear and helplessness loudly. You know what this demands is a mellowed ego. Whenever we have to express our helplessness in front of the Lord, that person's ahankara has to be relatively small. Otherwise, this bhavana comes, I can handle it. Why do I need God? So he says, Kahisi pukari. Let everybody listen. Let Sita Ji listen that you are helpless. Pranata hita pahi. And tell that Bhagwan, you are protector of those who surrender to you. Pranata hita pahi. Atura sabhaya gahisi pada jai. See, if there is faith in the Guru and he has received Upadesha, received instruction, and he is in difficulty, then there is no time spent examining the words of the Guru. Directly he goes, does exactly what Naradji has told him. Holds Bhagwan's feet. Trahi trahi dayala raghurayi. He says, Bhagwan, please save me. You are the most compassionate one. I did these things out of lack of thinking. Now please save me. Atulita bala, atulita prabhutayi. Whatever doubt he had, that clarity he got. That your strength is immeasurable, your power is immeasurable. Main mati manda jani nahi pai. I couldn't fathom your power, and due to ignorance, I tried to play this deceit, kapata. Nijakruta karma janita phala payo. He says, I'm not blaming anything. Neither am I blaming Brahma Astra. Whatever I did, for that I'm getting this result. Abba Prabhu Pahi Saranataki Ayav. I have gone several places, but not found any shelter. With this tired mind, helpless mind, I have come to you. Now you take care. Suni Krupala Ati Arata Bani. The words of Jayanta, which were filled with helplessness. Artha means you want something done. Eka Nayana Kari Taja Bhavani. Bhagwan left him one-eyed. Crow, it is said, although it has two eyes, it sees with only one eye. We'll come back to this. Goswamiji says, Keenha moha basa droha jadyapi. Although he had done this, droha, and he was fit for mrityudanda. Tehi kara bada uchita. Prabhu chhadevu kari choha, ko krupala raghubira sama. But Bhagwan, with so much compassion, did not give him mrityudanda. He just left him one-eyed and allowed him to go back. Now, this one eye is also a symbolic metaphor. Jayanta, his initial problem was he saw Bhagwan as different and Sita Ji as different. Means world is different and God is different. This is the perspective of Dvaita, duality. So, Ekanayana Kari Taja Bhavani means Bhagwan gave him the drushti of Advaita. That Sita Ji is not different from Bhagwan. Bhagwan and Sita Ji, Brahma and Maya Shakti, they are one and the same. Sita Ji resides in the Lord, just like Maya resides in Brahma. As long as your perspective is dualistic. In simple words, what is dualistic thinking? You are different, I am different. The final product of dualistic thinking is this. Main aru mora torate maya. Goswamiji says, the final product of Maya is, I am this person, this is mine. You are that person, this is yours. So the one who thinks about people as mine and different, and based upon that has ragadvesha. Towards those who think are mine, I have attachment. Towards those who think are not mine, towards them I have aversion. He says that is the product of Maya. So what did Bhagwan give Jayanta as a blessing? The vision of non-dual truth. Whom you consider as yours, whom you consider as not yours, both of them are an emergence from that same truth. One alone is appearing as many. That understanding he gave. In other words, Bhagwan opened his eye of knowledge. Because this story, if you tell in Bal Vihar, they'll get stuck with this point. Ekanayana, how did Bhagwan remove his? So this part we can skip completely. Just focus on the symbolic meaning part. That Jayanta who saw mine and yours, from this point onwards, he sees everything as the Lord. That vision of non-duality Bhagwan gave him. And Bhagwan also wanted to make sure that the Brahma Astra had its own value. That also he makes sure. Raghupati Chitrakuta Basinana Charita Kiye Shruti Sudha Samana. Since the point Bhagwan stayed in Chitrakoot, he did different leelas. Gave joy to everybody who was staying there. But now Bhagwan had become very popular. All the Rishi Munis, they would come. Bahuri Rama Asa Mana Anumana. He starts thinking, Hoi hi bhira sabahi mohi jana. This too much of crowd is disturbing the peace of this place. All Rishi Munis, their sadhana is getting affected. They are unable to meditate properly. So now it is time to move on. Forest life means I should not be staying in one place for too long. Sakala Muninah Sana Bida Karai. Very respectfully, he bids farewell to all Rishi Munis. You see, Bhagwan, wherever he is, he gives so much love to all Rishi Munis, give them satsang, everything, but not attached to that place. Even Ayodhya Vasis were there. He took care of them so well, but then when the time came, Bida Karai. Happily bid farewell, moved on. Sita Sahita Chale Do Bhai. Along with Sita Ji, both brothers, they started walking. Atri ke ashrama jabu prabhu gayahu sunata mahamuni harashita bhayahu. He says the main rishi of this place is Atri Rishi. So I have to give my final pranams to him before I go from this place. So he goes to the ashram of Atri Rishi. Atri Rishi is thrilled to see Bhagwan coming to his ashram. Comes and does Dandavat Pranam. While doing worship of the Lord, there are 16 upacharas. In between you have Padyam also, Arghyam also, Snanam also. Goswamiji says he did all of those rituals with tears. Prema Bari Do Jana Anhavai. His love for Bhagwan was so much that he did all the upacharas of Bhagwan with his tears. And Bhagwan's form is such that it gives peace to the heart and joy to the eyes. Deki Rama Chabi Nayana Judane. Looking at Bhagwan's form, he got lot of satisfaction, peace in his heart. Sadhara Nija Ashrama Taba Jane. And he respectfully brought them to his ashram, did their puja, kari puja kahi bachana suhaye, diye moola phala prabhu mana bhaye. Gave Bhagwan some fruits and flowers, etc. Means he did Bhagwan's worship. Now comes a very beautiful stuti by Atri Rishi. It talks about Saguna and Nirguna form of the Lord and how devotion to Bhagwan can take the sadhaka to the final goal. प्रभु आसीन प्रभु आसन आसीन भरी लोचन शोभा निरखी, मुनिबर परम प्रवीण। जोरि पानी स्तुति करत, नमामि भक्तवत्सलं कृपालुशीलकोमलं। भजामि ते पदाम्बुजं मकामिनां स्वधामदं। निकामशामसु निकाम। नमामि भक्तवत्सलं कृपालुशीलकोमलं। भजामि ते पदाम्बुजं मकामिनां स्वधामदं। निकामश्यामसुन्दरं भवाम्बुनाथमन्दरं। प्रफुल्लकञ्जलोचनं मदादिदोषमोचनं। प्रलम्बबाहुविक्रमं प्रभो प्रमेयवैभवं। निषङ्गचापसायकं धरं त्रिलोकनायकं। दिनेशवंशमण्डनं महेशचापखण्डनं। मुनीन्द्रसन्तरञ्जनं सुरारिवृन्दभञ्जनं। मनोजवैरिवन्दितम् अजादिदेवसेवितं। विशुद्धबोधविग्रहं समस्तदूषणापहं। नमामि इन्दिरापतिं सुखाकरं सतां गतिं। भजे सशक्तिसानुजं शचीपतिप्रियानुजं। त्वदङ्घ्रिमूलये नरा भजन्ति हीनमत्सरा। पतन्ति नो भवार्णवे वितर्कवीचिसङ्कुले। विविक्तवासिनः सदा भजन्ति मुक्तये मुदा। निरस्य इन्द्रियादिकं प्रयान्ति ते गतिं स्वकम्। तमेकमद्भुतं प्रभुं निरीहमीश्वरं विभुं। जगद्गुरुं च शाश्वतं तुरीयमेव केवलम्। भजामि भाववल्लभं कुयोगिनां सुदुर्लभं। स्वभक्तकल्पपादपं समं सुसेव्यमन्वहम्। अनूपरूपभूपतिं नतोऽहमुर्विजापतिं। प्रसीद मे नमामि ते पदाब्जभक्ति देहि मे। पठन्ति ये स्तवमिदं नरादरेण ते पदं। व्रजन्ति नात्र संशयं त्वदीयभक्तिसंयुताः। बिनती करि मुनिनाय सिरो, कह कर जोरि बहोरी। चरण सरोरुहनाथ जनी, कबहु तजय मति मोर। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय, बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय। श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। Saguna Dhyana on Bhagavan is called as Upasana. Whenever it comes to Upasana, we need some support or alambanam. This Stuti is one of the best support for Dhyanam. Even if you are unable to remember the precise words, the bhavana that is communicated in this Stuti, holding on to that, we can turn mind towards the Lord. There is Saguna description, Nirguna description, form of the Lord, Leela of the Lord, power of the Lord, everything included in one Stuti. Prabhu Asana Asina, Bhagwan is sitting in front and Atri has tears in his eyes. Bhari Lochana Sobha Niraki, with that tearful eyes he is looking at the beautiful form of Bhagavan. Munibara Parama Prabhina is one of the greatest Rishi. Atri, we had seen, the meaning is one who has gone beyond the three gunas, one who is reveling in the bliss of the self. That Atri Rishi is doing this stuti. Jori Pani, with hands folded, Astuti Karata. Generally it is Stuti Karata. He is doing the worship of Bhagwan. Now when you add a, what happens? Generally the meaning becomes opposite. If you say Satya, if you add a before it, it becomes Asatya. So if Stuti is there and you add a before it, here the meaning is not, it is opposite of Stuti, but it is to say that this particular Stuti is not in Shuddha Sanskrit. So you will find Avadhi mixed with Sanskritam. That is the uniqueness of this Stuti. And one commentator, he writes, Bhagavan says, or Atri Rishi says, I am taking forest liberty. Because in forest, everything is fine. You don't need that many rules and regulations. Even number of Doha Chaupai, you see, previous Doha was almost 7 Chaupais. The second Doha was 7 Chaupais. Generally it is 4. So Astuti means that. It is Stuti only, but it has mix of Avadhi Bhasha. What is nature of the Lord is pointed out in the first verse. Namami Bhakta Vatsalam means one who becomes small in front of the Lord. Bhagwan takes care of them just like a cow, mother cow takes care of the calf. They say the relation between mother cow and the calf is one of the most exalted form of love. Because all the dirt which is there on the body of the calf, the mother cleans it by licking it. He says in the same way, whatever doshas are there, tendencies to commit mistake, negativities, sinful tendencies, Bhagwan doesn't forgive it. He cleanses it. That's why the example of calf is given, Vatsala. To that Bhagwan who is of this nature, Atri Rishi says, I do my pranam. Krupalu Shila Komalam. He is very compassionate and has all qualities in him. Very gentle. That is Bhagwan's nature. Bhajami te padambujam. He says, I worship the lotus feet of that Bhagwan. Akaminam swadhamadam. Those who are desireless, Bhagwan gives his own abode to them. Look at this transaction. Those who have desire will get only their desire. But those who have no desires, Bhagwan says, I give myself to them. Akaminam swadhamadam. Nikama shama sundaram. Nikama means one who is most beautiful. He is dark in complexion. Shama is dark in complexion. But his beauty is eternal beauty. What is difference between Bhagwan's beauty and Jiva's beauty? This one commentator, he writes, worldly beauty increases kama, and Bhagwan's beauty removes kama. Bhagwan's sundarta is such, one who meditates upon it. Worldly beauty fades in front of that beauty. That is why his saguna form is Nikama Shama Sundaram. So first verse was about his nature, Swabhava. Second verse is his Saundarya, beauty. Bhavambu Natha Mandaram means in this samsara, which is like an ocean. In this samsara, he is the Mandrachala mountain, where we can churn and get the amrutam out of it. This samsara which appears to be so complicated, and you don't know what is the purpose of it. Samsara, one nature is that. We know we are stuck, but we don't know why we are stuck and what we should be doing. The one who helps us get amrutam in this samsara, that is Bhagavan. Prafulla Kanja Lochanam, one whose eyes are very beautiful like the lotus. What happens to that person who meets Bhagavan eye to eye? Means turns his attention to the eye of the Lord. Eye of Jiva meeting eye of Bhagavan. Madadi dosha mochanam. All the limitations of pride, etc., that sadhaka gets freed from it. What was his sadhana? Meditated on the form of the Lord. Means Goswamiji is saying, whatever negativities might be there, they cannot exist, they cannot coexist with Bhagavad Smriti. And Bhagavad Smriti might be Ekarupa also. It need not be Swarupa Dhyanam, need not be pure consciousness. Need not also be Virata Dhyanam, Bhagavan as whole universe. Even if it is Ekarupa, that will remove the negativities from our heart. Tomorrow's Mundaka Upanishad class, the mantra that is going to come is Virata Dhyanam of Bhagavan. How the sun and the moon are his eyes, heaven is his head. That is one Dhyanam. But here it is Ekarupa, one form of the Lord. Prafulla Kanja Lochanam, Madhadi Dosha Mochanam. Pralamba Bahu Vikramam. Bhagwan's arms are very long. The symbolic meaning of long arms is he is karma phala data. No action, no person, no place we can escape karma phala. Somebody might be the greatest person. He says karma phala will come there also, because pralamba bahu vikramam. Doesn't matter where he runs, might go to Brahma Loka, Shiva Loka, there also it will come. Puja Guruji says Bhagavan has long arms because he can embrace very well. Different types of devotees are there, right? So he doesn't have to compromise on that. Prabho Prameya Vaibhavam. Bhagavan's power and splendor is beyond our imagination. What we think is impossible, he can make it possible. And what we think is the most simple thing, he can make it impossible. Kartum, akartum, anyatha kartum shaknoti. The most impossible thing, he can make it happen. And if we have pride that this is very simple, I will do it, that he can make it like a mountain, impossible. The one who has that power, that is Bhagavan. Nishanga Chapa Sayakam. He has a quiver, he has a bow and an arrow. Dharam Triloka Nayakam. He is the Lord of this whole Brahmanda. 3 worlds in one Brahmanda. Like that, there are countless Brahmandas. When we do Mantra Pushpam also we chant, right? Akhila Koti Brahmanda Nayaka. So one Brahmanda has 14 worlds. Like that, there are several countless Brahmandas. And every Brahmanda has its own Brahmaji and so on. And Bhagavan is the Lord of all of that. Dinesha Vamsha Mandanam. Now his Leelas are mentioned. 4th verse is Leela of Bhagavan Rama. One who is the supreme most amongst Raghuvamsha. Mahesha Chapa Khandanam. One who broke the bow of Bhagavan Shiva. So these are hints of all those Leelas that Bhagavan has done. Munindra Santa Ranjanam. One who gives joy to Rishi Munis like Vishwamitra Rishi, Vasishtha Rishi. And Surari Vrunda Bhanjanam. One who has killed all the Asuras like Tadaka and Subahu. Manoja Vairi Vanditam. Manoja Vairi is Bhagwan Shiva. Manoja means Kamadeva. Enemy of Kamadeva is Bhagwan Shiva. Smaras Smartavyatma. Shiva Mahimna Stotram it is said. When Kamadeva tried to tempt Bhagwan Shiva, he remained an object of memory. Such a nice way of putting it. Not that Bhagwan burnt him down. Smaraha Smartavyatma. Kamdev remained just an object of memory, no physical form. That Bhagwan Shiva, one who worships, means Bhagwan Shiva worships whom? That is Bhagwan Rama. Manoja Vairi Vanditam. Ajadi Deva Sevitam. Worshipped by Brahmaji also, that is Bhagwan Rama. Now, Nirguna form, Vishuddha Bodha Vigraham. One who is of the nature of pure consciousness. Vishuddha Bodha, that is Bhagwan Rama. Samasta Dushanapaham. One who surrenders to him, he removes all the negativities and limitations in that person. The poetry is also so beautiful. The rhyming words and the precise words which are there. Namami Indirapatim. We bow down to Bhagwan, who is the Lord of Lakshmi Devi. Sukhakaram Satam Gatim. One is of the nature of bliss and is the supremost abode of Santa Mahatmas. Satam Gatim means the abode of Santa Mahatmas, the goal of Mahatmas. Bhaje Sashakti Sanujam. Along with Lakshmanji and Sita Ji, I worship you. Shachi Prati Priyanujam. Shachi Prati Priyanujam means Shachipati is Indra Bhagwan. Anuja of Indra Bhagwan is, brother of Indra Bhagwan is Vaman Bhagwan. So I bow down to Vaman Bhagwan, who in 3 steps took over this whole universe from Bali Maharaj. Twadangri Moola Yenaraha. People who surrender to your feet. Bhajanti Hina Matsaraha. Devoid of jealousy means they become devoid of jealousy. What is Matsaraha? Mattaha Sarati. Somebody is going ahead of me. That thought is called as jealousy. So when the mind turns towards the Lord, all these things become irrelevant. You say, whoever is going, let them go. Because his destination is different. And fortunately, there is no competition in going towards the Lord. Even if everybody is going, it is not that only few people will get. Everybody will get. But if there is one position and 10 people running, only one person will get. So that is sign of bhakti. Jealousy from the heart is removed. Patanti no bhavarnave. People who worship Bhagwan, surrender to his feet, they don't fall into this ocean of samsara. Means they don't get stuck with this samsara, stuck with things in this samsara. Vitarka vichi sankule. Vichi means waves. Vitarka vichi means erroneous thought waves. Erroneous thought waves. It could be sometimes of ashraddha. We might lose faith in scriptures, faith in God, faith in Guru, faith in sadhana. That is one wave. Another wave is kutarka. We might get stuck with some opinion, and that is sufficient to halt our spiritual journey. Either it could be siddhantik, related to philosophy, or otherwise somewhere. That is vitarka vichi. Some erroneous thought, getting stuck with that. Or even some argument. That is also another vitarka vichi. In short, anything that takes our mind away from the Lord. That is vitarka vichi. Vichi means wave. From vichi only the word beach has come. That place where there are a lot of beaches coming. Sankule means doubts which are there in that sadhaka's mind, they get removed. Vivikta Vasinas Sada. Who are those people who worship the Lord? That is given in the 8th verse. People who are Vivikta Vasina means they like solitude, not too much of extrovertedness. Mind is introvert, not worldly. Vivikta Vasinas Sada. Bhajanti Mukta Ye Muda. Means those who turn towards Bhagwan, their wandering in this world stops. Bhajanti Muktaye Muda means that for the sake of Mukti, they are doing Bhakti. And how are they doing it? Cheerfully. Muda means with joy. Bhajanti Muktaye Muda. Saguna Bhakti, this is one great blessing. The moment sadhaka becomes sincerely turned towards the Lord, all steps necessary in his spiritual journey become Bhagwan's responsibility. Sadhana Chatushtaya is lacking. To bring that is Bhagwan's responsibility. Clarity is not coming in the topic, not understanding what is the essence, subject matter looks difficult. This is all of that will fall in place. Nirasya Indriyadikam. The lifestyle of a sadhaka is he is staying away from sense objects, doesn't allow the mind to go there. Prayantite gatim swakam. Those who are devoted to you and seek help from Bhagwan, they enter their own swarupa. Means self-abidance, which is the supremost goal, that is attained with Bhagwan's grace. In 7th chapter, Bhagwan says, Jijnasu Bhakta. Jijnasu Bhakta also prays to the Lord. Sadhaka also prays to the Lord. But what is his final journey? He doesn't remain as a Jijnasu. He merges with Bhagavan. Prayantite gatim swakam. His own self he goes into. Tamekam adbhutam prabhum. And what is his nature of Bhagwan now? What is his understanding of nature of Bhagwan? This is Advaita Vedanta now. Tam ekam. Ekam means that non-dual truth. Adbhutam. There is nothing compared to that truth, comparable to that truth. Prabhum. Bhagwan he has understood as consciousness. You see that word? Prabhum goes with ekam. From Saguna Bhakti, he has evolved into Nirguna Bhakti. Tam ekam adbhutam prabhum niriham. Niriham means without maya. Iha means desire. That non-dual truth has this iha, desire to manifest creation. So that iha is not possible in that non-dual truth. It is possible only with conditioning of maya. So niriha means that truth which is devoid of maya. Niriham Ishwaram Vibhum. That which is infinite. Jagad Gurum Cha Shashvatam. That truth alone is guiding each and every jiva from within. That is why it is Jagat Guru. Since when it started doing this? Shashvatam, eternal. Puja Guruji's message on one Guru Purnima day was this. He said, Sadguru is the one who invokes the Guru within. Outside Guru invokes the inner Guru. So Sat is the nature of the student. Sat is the nature of Guru also. So Guru doesn't want the student to remain ignorant about his own true nature. So the one who invokes that Sat in the disciple, he says that is our Satguru. Jagat Gurum cha Shashvatam Turiyam eva Kevalam. That Turiya which is beyond three states. Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, one who is devoid of that. Who is being spoken about here? What are these terms referring to? Tam ekam adbhutam prabhum niriham ishwaram. Bhagavan Rama. Don't forget the main point. Atri Rishi is doing stuti of Bhagavan Rama who is sitting in front of him. And he says, who is my Bhagavan? One who has all the saguna aspects. One who is in essential nature, this consciousness. To that Bhagavan, I worship and offer my pranams in that way. Remaining we will see in the next session. अगणित गुणगण भूषण रामा आश्रित वत्सल जय जय रामा अयोध्यवासी सीता रामा आपद्बांधव जय जय रामा दशरथ नंदन श्री रामा दशमुख मर्दन जय जय रामा कौसल्या सुखवर्धन रामा कामित फलदाय जय जय रामा पाप विमोचन श्री रामा पट्टाभिरामा जय जय रामा जानकी वल्लभ सीता रामा जय रघुरामा जय सीता रामा वानर सेवित श्री रामा वारिधि वंदन जय जय रामा हनुमत पूजित सीता रामा श्री राम जय जय रामा रघुपति राघव राजा रामा पतित पावना सीता रामा श्री राम जय जय रामा श्री राम जय जय रामा सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय।